A plant-powered diet for optimal health. Sharon Palmer, a registered dietitian nutritionist with a Master of Science in Sustainable Food Systems, spoke about plant-powered diet for optimal health during a webinar organized by the Nestlé Nutrition Institute in August 2019. Plant-based eating patterns are included in the US 2015-2020 dietary guidelines, such as the following: the Mediterranean diet, the US healthy diet pattern, and a vegetarian diet. Eating more fruits and vegetables, as well as including more pulses, is furthermore recommended. Also, plant-based eating is becoming more popular. 24% of consumers in the US eat more plant protein than in previous years. The market for alternative meat is estimated to grow to $140 billion in 10 years, and veganism is on the rise. 11% of Generation Z and 10% of millennials follow a vegan diet. Plants are part of many indigenous and traditional diets and typically consists of local whole grains and legumes, seasonally cultivated and foraged foods and vegetables, seeds and nuts, a low use of animal foods, and foods which are minimally processed. With increasing income, diets often change from these more plant-based eating patterns to what is called a Western diet. It is characterized by low consumption of fruits, vegetables, whole grains and legumes, and is low in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals, but high in animal foods, highly processed foods, and fast foods. In addition to the above, the Western diet consists of high consumption of sugars, sodium, and saturated fats. What are plant-based diets? In common, they all focus on plants. A vegan diet does not contain any animal foods. A lacto-ovo vegetarian does not eat any animal flesh, but dairy and eggs. A pescatarian diet includes no animal flesh except for fish and seafood, and a semi-vegetarian or flexitarian eats only small amounts of animal foods. Do you know that plant-based eating patterns have a better ecological impact? Plant-based eating patterns have a lower carbon footprint in comparison to non-vegetarians. It is 20% lower with a semi-vegetarian diet, 24% lower with a pescatarian diet, 28% with a lacto-ovo vegetarian diet, and 42% lower with a vegan diet. Another study showed that compared to the Western diet, plant-based diets in Spain reduced 72% of greenhouse gas emission, 58% of land use, 52% of energy consumption, and 33% of water consumption. Legumes are the most efficient protein source. Unlike 1 kilogram of protein from beef, 1 kilogram of protein from legumes needs 18 times less land, 12 times less fertilizer, 10 times less water and less pesticides, and 9 times less fuel. Pulses are the sustainable protein sources as highlighted by Sharon Palmer. Apart from their high protein levels, they have a low carbon footprint and are drought tolerant. Pulses function as natural fertilizers for the soil, aid in food security, especially in developing countries, increase crop diversity, contribute to feeding the world, and are economical food. Plant-based diets have many health benefits. They are associated with longevity, healthier weight, lower oxidative stress, and inflammation. Plant-based diets are linked with a reduced risk of heart disease and a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. They seem to be associated with a lower risk of some cancer, to support a healthy gut and immune function, and to contribute to brain function, such as Alzheimer's disease. To develop a plant-based eating style, Sharon Palmer recommends including more plant proteins in your diet. This can be done with legumes such as beans, lentils, and peas, with whole soy foods such as tofu, tempeh, and soy milk. Nuts and nut butters are good plant proteins, as well as seeds and seed butters. Whole grains and vegetables such as spinach or broccoli can be good protein sources. Nutrition and medical associations support plant-based diets. According to the American Dietetic Association, appropriately planned vegetarian diets, including total vegetarian or vegan diets, are healthful, nutritionally adequate, and may provide health benefits in the prevention and treatment of certain diseases. Well-planned vegetarian diets, ideally with the help of a dietitian, are appropriate for individuals during all stages of the life cycle. Similarly, The American Academy of Pediatrics acknowledges that choosing a plant-based diet or a vegetarian diet has been shown to have health benefits and can be good for the environment. A plant-based diet that includes eggs and dairy ensures children will have the necessary nutrients for healthy growth. An egg and dairy-free vegan diet can also be healthy and complete if sources of vitamin B12, calcium, zinc, vitamin D, and iron are maximized. Moreover, plant-based foods are endorsed in hospitals. The American Medical Association, or AMA, calls to improve the health of patients, staff, and visitors by providing a variety of healthful food, including plant-based meals and meals that are low in fat, sodium, and added sugars, by eliminating processed meats from menus and providing and promoting healthful beverages. Moreover, there is a demand and offer for plant-based tube feedings. Families want to provide real plant-based food for tube-fed family members, especially for their children. Plant-based tube feedings are well received by healthcare professionals, caregivers, and families for use in healthcare settings and home care settings. Clinical studies indicate that plant-based tube feedings can reduce retching and gagging in children with fundoplication and are well tolerated in chronically ill children. There are concerns whether children eating plant-based diets have special nutrient needs. Well-planned vegetarian diets for children meet or exceed recommendations for most nutrients, such as higher intakes of fiber, lower intakes of fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol. However, an appropriate caloric intake should be ensured and the growth monitored. Particular attention should be paid to adequate protein intake and sources of essential fatty acids, iron, zinc, calcium, and vitamins B12 and D. Children on vegan diets may require additional supplementation with certain nutrients to prevent deficiencies, such as calcium, essential fatty acids, vitamins B12 and D, and iodine. An ongoing research on plant-based enteral feeding, or PBEN, will provide further benefits for plant-based enteral feeding. The results of 2 pilot studies suggest that plant-based enteral feeding could improve the health of the microbiota in chronically ill children and may improve their immune response.